Hey, fairy family, it's time for another episode of Ask the Fairy, and this is where I read your fantastic questions that you mail me and I share them with your permission with the whole YouTube audience because some of these issues are things that a lot of people they struggle with too. This one is from Stephanie. Dear Anna, I found your discussion of that tendency to have crushes on inappropriate people so insightful and helpful. This has happened throughout my life and kept me locked in a fantasy world instead of living. In the past few years, I can see it coming and have learned to control it mostly. Okay. I would like to ask you about another tendency I have and wondered if this is also something connected to my CPTSD. And I'm reading this because, yeah, I think it is. I find that I can be obsessed with people, and when I do, I want to give them extravagant gifts. In the past, this has caused a lot of embarrassment and been unwanted. Again, I've learned to temper my tendency to a great extent, but can still spend a lot of time notionally choosing gifts for people that I admire, ordering them, canceling the order, etc., etc. Sometimes I give a gift, but I have to try very hard to suppress this urge to do so. Is this, quote, normal for people with CPTSD? Are there strategies I can use to stop this as even if I don't give gifts, I can waste a lot of time choosing things, etc., that I don't give, and time that would be better spent more constructively. Or B, obviously there's the financial consideration, and C, causing the recipient embarrassment if I act out and follow my inclinations. Thank you, Stephanie. This is interesting. I have seen this before. I don't know how common gift giving is as a manifestation of obsession, but you nailed it. It's a form of obsession. And you know what obsession is? It's a complete retreat from reality, going into one's own mind and fantasy world about a relationship that a real person is standing there. And this is the tough love part. It's worse than embarrassing when people do this to you in the form of a gift. And I've had it happen to me. It's worse than embarrassing. Somebody's not being present and they're projecting on you some other thing, and it's actually quite kind of scary and uncomfortable. And it does ruin relationships because it's not like any kind of a reciprocal two-way thing. The person who is obsessed, whether it's gifts or some romantic fantasy or whatever it is, the person who is obsessed is deep in a world of their own making. They're not here, so they're not really present. They're not a friend to the other person. I mean, real friends are present. They're not in their own minds. They can hear what you're saying. They can respond to what you're saying. They can tune in to what you actually want. So I'm just going to guess that in this form of obsession, the gift giving is somehow like it's the planning of the gift and the fantasy of what it would be like to give the person a gift, that it's just a vehicle. It's a fantasy vehicle, like watching a movie about things being really wonderful and feeling a connection you wish you had. And the irony of obsessive behavior like that is it kills connection. It makes you someone people don't want to be friends with or have a romantic relationship with. It's because it's odd. It turns into odd behavior. What healthy people fall in love with is a sense that they're being met. And if you don't know the phrase being met, like well met, it means that as person A shows up and is themselves and reveals things about themselves, the other person can hear that, can respond to it, can feel the relative weight of what's being said, and isn't immediately glossing over it, going into la la land, talking about themselves, ignoring it. Well met. Well met. That's when we feel heard. That's where love can grow. It's where we feel seen. And so that's the trouble with obsession. It's one of the many problems with obsession, but why it leads to being alone in the end. And so here's what I would say, and I say this about any form of obsession with people, which is you got to go cold turkey, all right? If someone is triggering obsession in you, they've done nothing wrong probably, but you're going to need to not hang out with them while you work this out. That's what I mean, cold turkey. And with gifts, you need to just go cold turkey on not buying gifts for people. They're probably, with the help of another person, you could probably work out a list of people in your life where it's appropriate to give a gift and decide on a price for something like that. And it might be like nieces and nephews, something that costs $25, something like that, at Christmas and birthday, something like that. Different families are different, but it's not essential to give gifts all the time. Most people, especially right now, are most interested in your presence, not presents that you bring, but your presence, your being there and hearing them and seeing them. So I really want to encourage you to take this seriously. This is the sort of thing that, yes, it will bankrupt you financially or just be a problem for you, but the biggest bankruptcy will be in your ability to be close with other people. This is a fantasy. And when you stop, you're going to feel some anxiety. It's going to be like withdrawal, because obsession is an addictive behavior. So you're going to feel withdrawal. And what that's going to be like is like, I got to do something. I have to do something. I can't bear this feeling. And it's going to be teary and hard. And you got to set yourself up just as if you were trying to get off a hard drug, with support, being around people and groups of people who are safe for you. There are 12-step programs that deal with this. There might not be one precisely that's about gift giving, but if it's a form of obsession with people or living in a fantasy world, there's a few programs that could help with that. There's also, this is something you can absolutely talk to a therapist about, and that if that's what you do, if that's what you have access to. And finally, as I often say, you can do the daily practice about this. The daily practice is a way to discharge the anxiety and that anger that's driving any of the sort of, crazy feelings inside. And when you're going through withdrawal, you can go through withdrawal much more freely if you have a way to discharge the terrible feelings. So let's say you stop giving gifts and you start feeling cut off from people, and tears are coming up and you're starting to feel anxiety that you're never going to see anybody. So then you want to get back onto Amazon and buy a gift for somebody. Okay, so before you do that, you call somebody and you say, I'm getting the urge to do that. I'm going to write my fears and resentments instead, and I'm going to read them to you in 10 minutes. Can you do that? And they go, yes. Okay. So then you get it out, your paper, and you write down, I have fear I'm going to be alone forever. That's usually what the fear is at the bottom of it. There might be stuff on top of it, but you'll get down to that fear, I'm going to be alone. Fear if I don't buy this. Fear there'll be nothing to talk about. Fear there'll be no excuse to get together with so-and-so. Fear they won't understand how much I appreciate them. Fear if I just try to have a conversation, I will seem stupid. The relationship will feel empty. These are some of the feelings I know about that are underneath obsession. And then you write a sign-off. I am now ready, and ask for these to be removed. And you can adapt that to yourself. I show you how to do that in the free course below. And calm yourself in meditation, just a very relaxing meditation for 20 minutes. And you're just going to find, you got through it. You got through that compulsion to make the contact, the obsessive contact, and to try to grab control of some relationship or some connection and sort of make it into something that's amped up. I think that's a lot what obsession is. Like the ordinary feeling of a connection with somebody, we're not feeling it. We're numbed out. We can't feel it. And so we feel like it needs to be ratcheted up. And I could see how like an extravagant gift is like a fantasy of they'll be like, oh, wow. That wow feeling is what we're after. And here's the thing, that wow feeling is inside our connections with other people without the gift, without the obsessive love, without the control. There's a wow feeling in there, but it comes through calming down so that we can become sensitive to it. So the satisfaction and that feeling of goodness that you're seeking, it is available to you, but you're going to need to strip away the fake solution to get you there so that you can start to develop and grow the real solution. And sometimes we can think of CPTSD as a form of developmental delay. So normally a person would develop this ability to grow a relationship gradually and to feel satisfied by it day by day as it grew gradually. When that all gets messed up by trauma, abuse, and neglect, then sometimes just making a slight connection with somebody can all of a sudden introduce this like voracious tiger of a need for it to feel more connected. And then, we resort to whatever it is, trying to make it highly romantic, start spending a lot of money, start bragging about ourselves, but we're not present. It doesn't make us very attractive to a healthy person anyway. To somebody who just wants a bunch of money or something, sure, but that's not what you're after. So daily practice, therapy if you need it, 12-step groups if you can find something that supports that. But whatever you do, no more extravagant gifts and be willing to cut off people around whom you get this intense desire to try to make the relationship into something it's not through this means of buying gifts. It's manipulation of reality. So I hope that helps. This is the Ask the Fairy show. If you have a question that you would like to ask me and allow me to answer here on a video for everybody on YouTube, send it in, put in this to hello@crappychildhoodfairy.com and put in the subject line Ask the Fairy, so I know that that's what it is and that you've given your permission. I will protect your anonymity, and I will try to leave out details that I think could get you could generate unkind comments. If you're out there commenting, for heaven's sakes, have a heart for people who share their troubles here. Don't attack them, and don't attack the people who appear in their stories who they're struggling with, all right? We don't do that here. We're here to support. We're here to support and encourage and help people see reality. So if you like this topic about grabbing onto relationships obsessively and trying to make them into something, you might like this video right here. I'm going to connect you to it there, and I will see you very soon.